All right, modern ammo coming at you again just for a little recap. These were actually from a previous shoot I did with 40 out of a Taurus G3C. And these are the Federal HST rounds in 40 caliber that are used by, or used to be used by, federal law enforcement, which is who I am. And we're no longer using that. And then here was a 40 caliber, just a no-name. It was actually loaded up in a 10 millimeter round, and that was what a old school hollow point did. Whole bunch of lead core right there, and these are the petals that came off, and this is what the jacket after separation looked like. Fortunately, the HST is much better at holding onto its jacket, which is a good thing. So in the 9 millimeter that we saw, this was the Spear Gold Dot, which was this one right here. And you can see this bullet, when it came in, it bumped into this bullet and left a little bit of damage to the petal. So you can see the 9 millimeter, I mean, it's got a good, pretty average, if you will, opening bloom compared to the Federal HST, which has a much more pronounced, and the petals actually stay sticking out quite a bit longer, whereas this, you can see they just kind of curl back on themselves, so the wound cavity is not all that substantial. So these bullets, ultimately the winner was today the first response version of the G9 research ammunition, and then these were the Lehigh versions, and you can see that one's got a little bit. That was probably the plus P plus, and that's the 68 grain, which is, this is a 90 grain, that's a 68 grain, and this had much better penetration than the 90 grain, even though it was plus P plus. This was just plus P. And then these were the two old and newer G9 in the 9 millimeter, which, you know, they're not bad, and if that's all you can get your hands on, then that's what you want. However, this was getting out to 21, 22 inches, whatever the gel, I forget already what it says. And this is that 4-fluted round, much heavier bullet. So you can see that it didn't do too badly. It got some pretty good penetration. I think it was close to 19 inches, something like that. Sorry, I'm not holding my camera. So here's all your G9 in 45 ACP, which is right here. So these were the two non-law enforcement versions in both the gap round and the 45 round. And then these two were the gap